Well, this that Christian Lindner would become finance minister is one of those, red lines that the Free Democrats put into this coalition, I think, as the fiscal conservative part. But they also know that there are quite a few investment needs in Germany and in Europe for climate matters. And so much of the economic debate in Germany over the past couple of weeks, even among economists, was around finding clever ways around the self-imposed strictures of the debt rules. And if you think about it, this is not the way we would like this coalition negotiation to go on, that we have to find tricks around it. The problem here is that, whatever they find in Germany in the coalition agreement to circumvent the debt brake, to make sure that Germany can do this investment that it wants to do, those cannot necessarily be sort of one-for-one implemented in Europe. So we will have a whole new debate then, starting probably after tomorrow, of how to translate this German coalition government agreement into sort of a European stance. And this is what I will be looking out for.
What do you think in terms of innovation and also digitalization? Because clearly our country is lacking digitalization so much compared to others. That new super ministry under most likely Robert Habeck, do you think that's a good idea?
Well, the digital announcements of, pushing for more digitalization in Germany have, I think, been in every coalition contract over the last 10 years. So I'm not sure whether the announcement of such a program alone suffices. I think digitalization is a cross-sectional thing. You cannot just put it in one ministry and say, okay, this ministry now takes care of our digitalization. It needs to be sort of embodied in whatever we do at public administration and government levels. And that will be my hope, that basically the coalition contract emphasizes that point and puts a bit of money behind that, because as you rightly say, there is a lack of digitalization on almost all levels of the German economy and of German public services.
Let me bring you to foreign policy as well, because with Annalena Baerbock now being most likely the next foreign minister, she's calling for something like an active defense policy of Germany. So what can we expect from a green pacifist foreign minister?
Well, it's funny that you call it pacifist. I think the Greens, they have a pacifist origin, but they have become a lot more realistic in terms of foreign and defense policy. And one of the things that the Greens in this position will bring is, I think, a newfound openness to debate things that should have been debated a long time. So, for example, how do we approach Russia and China and other autocracies that are increasingly making their muscle felt in the vicinity of Europe, for example? These are questions and discussions that the German public debate have not always confronted honestly and openly. And this, I think, is the biggest contribution. I wouldn't expect any sort of bold changes. That's not how Germany does change. Germany changes sort of slowly, a bit too cautiously maybe, but usually in the right direction. And this is sort of where I would think the impact of a green foreign ministry would also be.